I love that I started right as you took a drink.
Oh, sorry.
No, that was on me. I was like, yeah, this is a good time to press record. What's up, podcast? It is me, Brent Mukai, voice actor, improv trainer, entertainer. Today...
And CrossFitter.
And CrossFitter. Not professionally, but recreationally. Today I'm joined by a woman who has taught me the pleasure in pain. No, she's not a dominatrix. She is. Nice. She is my CrossFit trainer. Also, my friend. Please I'd like to give a warm welcome to Madeline Boldt.
Hi. Thanks for having me on here.
Thank you for joining me today. If you are watching this, then you will notice that I'm sweaty as fuck, and that's because
you look good. White was a good choice.
The white was a good choice.
If you show on camera.
if you just like look around like the collar area, you're like, why does it look like a dog licked me several times there? And if you're listening and you're like, why does Brent sound weird? It's because I'm still getting over the workout that we just did. It's called Ball Games. Is that?
Yeah.
And each workout has a name. Is that in the CrossFit world?
There are some well-known, popular named workouts. This is special to our gym. This one is only us, probably.
It's custom.
This is a custom workout that we named after our coach.
Very cool.
Mike
who
referred to as Ball Games.
He will probably later be on the podcast. All right. So, Madeline, just give me a little bit of context here. How did you get into the CrossFit world? Because we've talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And you didn't get into it until how long ago?
I started, I think it was like late 2015.
Okay.
And I didn't get really serious about it as something for myself until like mid 2016.
Okay.
So it's probably like a year and a half or 2 years of like serious me doing CrossFit myself, and then train as a coach full time less than a year. So I'm pretty new to the game, to be honest.
That's nuts. And you were doing yoga before that.
So growing up I was big into sports. Like I was very active as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was drawn to sports like swimming and stuff that was individual. I got a lot of like anxiety being on a team.
Really?
Yeah, like I tried some team sports like softball and volleyball, and I liked those sports and I had fun. But yeah. I feel a lot of pressure to perform.
Yeah.
On a team. And so I like it when I feel like it's just me versus me rather than like a team depending on my performance.
Okay.
And so the individual things like swimming or...
Did you tennis at all, or...?
I tried tennis when I was really young with my grandparents, and it was hard.
Yeah.
Tennis is very hard. Do you play tennis?
I used to.
It's hard. It's one of the hard... I remember
it's a lot of hand-eye coordination.
It's a lot of running.
It's tons
You
of
don't
running.
notice it because it's a court this big, but...
I noticed it.
I can't believe you want me to keep schlepping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
Never ending.
It was, for me, I don't know, it helped me out that it was a goal. If you're hearing noise, it's because we're literally doing the podcast in the gym.
Functioning.
Kaizen CrossFit. If you are in Las Vegas and you are doing CrossFit and you are not at Kaizen CrossFit, get the fuck out of here. You got to come down to this place. This is, I have a very small frame of reference because it's the only CrossFit gym I've been to. But by that measure, it's the best one I've ever been to. It's a family atmosphere. Yeah. So what was it that drew? So you were doing all of these individual activities.
So
what was it?
I was at the time when I found CrossFit, I was doing yoga a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Bikram yoga is how I started with that, which is known for its intensity.
Yeah.
So I'm drawn to that intensity. And Bikram yoga led me to some other kinds of yoga, and I came here as a yoga teacher.
What is the intensity? What's the difference in intensity?
Bikram yoga is an hour and a half class in a really hot room, like 90 or more degrees, 60% or like 40% humidity. So you think you're sweaty now. I mean,
right.
Dripping, pouring, unbelievable sweat factory. And the postures are very difficult when you connect those two components. Bikram classes are known for being like just really difficult.
What is the purpose of doing it in such hot temperatures?
So the heat is meant as a tool for especially people who are very tight. That heat and that humidity helps to open up your muscles. So like if I told you to stretch in the middle of the winter in New York City, it's way harder than in the middle of the summer in Miami. that heat naturally loosens you up, and so when you get into the hot room, you can stretch deeper than normal because your muscles get warmer faster.
Okay. It's heat and humidity.
Heat and humidity, yeah. The humidity is there to detoxify, and the heat is there to open up muscles.
Huh. Okay.
And I like that concept a lot, and it is very helpful. I think that a lot of yoga studios have gone too far with it, in my opinion. I think that the heat should be like a tool to make you have a better yoga experience rather than like an obstacle, like a contest, like who can survive the most heat.
Is that what it's become now?
I think it becomes that a little bit, and that's what drew me away from that community.
Okay.
Anyway, so my good friend Jonathan was a coach here, and he wanted to start yoga at the gym. So he brought me in, and I taught a yoga class, or I taught a bunch of yoga classes actually. And I just was like, let me see what this CrossFit thing is about.
Yeah.
And see what these people are doing so that I know what kind of class to teach. And I expected to be naturally amazing at it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't at all. It was so hard. Like, I mean, my first class looks like anybody else's first class, just dying.
With all of the stuff you've done, even?
CrossFit ruined me. At the time that I started CrossFit, I was smoking like a pack of cigarettes a day.
Were you?
And drinking a lot. I mean, just socially, I wasn't like, anyway, whatever it is. Like, I thought I was healthy, but I had no idea what health was until I started doing CrossFit. And then it got to a point where it was like, okay, do I want to smoke a cigarette, or do I want to be able to run a mile? Or do I want to get a better time on Fran? Or what's more important to me? And CrossFit was the only thing that my desire to excel physically in here was the only thing greater than my desire to, smoke and drink and whatever else. Bye, Jim. Love you.
Take it easy.
I'll text you later.
We're family here. So you started doing the CrossFit stuff, and then you started seeing that it was like life-changing for you.
It was life-changing. It was so hard. It was so fun. I loved the challenge.
Yeah.
I think deep down everybody kind of loves the challenge. Even if in the moment it feels like you're going to die.
Yeah.
You leave and you feel so accomplished, and like, if you can do that, what can't you do today? And it makes you better at everything else that you do. It makes it easier to attack all of life's little wads because you've already done that. Like, if you wake up and you come to CrossFit first thing, the rest of your day feels easy.
Okay.
Right?
No, yeah.
Kind of.
That's exactly true.
I mean, as somebody who's kind of just first now getting into it and still feeling like probably
like
nervous
I'm dying
before the workout, and like you're dreading it, and you're in the car like, what am I doing on your way here?
Yeah.
But then afterwards, I mean, you keep coming.
I do.
So there's got to be a draw. What's the draw?
Oh, man. It's that I know that I need to. I think I just, it's like a place where I can go and be like accountable and be like, okay, I went and I did it, and like I know that I did it, and I know that here I know that I'm going to actually do like a really good workout and get the most out of the time that I spend.
And I think that the environment of a class, I'm a big advocate of working out in a group.
Are you?
A lot of people tell me that, like, I'm like, come try CrossFit. They're like, oh, I only like to work out by myself. I don't like to work out in a group. James, my husband, maybe some of you know, is one of those people.
He'll be on the podcast later.
I like to work out alone.
James Boldt.
Okay. Meanwhile, now he's like diehard CrossFitter. He just did a competition. He's obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because there's something about being in a group and having a coach there to tell you what to do that you feel. It helps you, like, you get to just turn your brain off at that point. Like, we are so engaged all the time. Yeah. And everybody needs something from us all the time. And it is difficult to go to the gym and be that hype man for yourself. But if you come here and all your, like, everybody in the class is like your friend, and you're all going through it together, and you don't have to think because the coach is going to tell you what to do. Like, I think that it's great. I think that people are letting their egos get in the way of enjoying a class. Like, people who want to work out by themselves.
But I totally get that,
like
though.
An ego thing.
To me, that's almost counterintuitive to what you said earlier, because you said that a team where people are relying on you feels almost...
This is so good.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I love CrossFit.
Okay.
Because I get all the benefits of having a team.
Yeah.
I get friendship and camaraderie and that sense of like we've been through it together. Mm-hmm. But nobody's counting on me. Like my results are my results and your results are your results.
Yeah.
And like however hard you want to push in the workout and however hard I want to push in the workout, like my score doesn't affect your score, but we still did it together.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's why CrossFit is so fun for me because like we are on a team. Like
right.
we're the Kaizen team, but I'm not responsible for your success.
I absolutely love that answer. And that is what it feels like. I would say it's less like you know what it's like? It's I get the same feeling of like when I watch army movies and like everybody's like rallied together against a common enemy.
People say that a lot.
And I feel like we're just all rallied against the common enemy of the workout.
Yeah.
And like everybody's like, you made it, dude.
And that's a lot like where we have like the hero workouts that are like to honor like military people and stuff.
Tell me a little bit about that because I've never really asked about it. I've seen like little things. There are events and things like that. But for people who have no context for CrossFit, tell me about that.
So I think that like you said, like there's a similarity between the way CrossFit feels and the way something like Army boot camp might feel. I'm speculating because I've never been to Army boot camp, but kind of you're all getting tortured, like by choice. Kind of these workouts are not easy; they're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to challenge you and force you to be a better person and a stronger person and all of that, mentally and physically. And a lot of like the big influential CrossFit athletes and like members of the like corporate CrossFit kind of community are either ex-military or in the military. It's the two are closely connected. So like the director of the CrossFit Games, Dave Castro, used to be a Navy SEAL. One of the most well-known American male CrossFit athletes, Josh Bridges, Navy SEAL. Okay. Marine. I sound stupid, but it's one of those.
No, but I get it.
Anyway, so we have these hero workouts for members of the military who did CrossFit and were in the CrossFit community who like maybe died in the line of action and whatever else. And so we
honor them, we
create the hero workouts to honor their sacrifice. And so those are the ones that like today we named our workout Ball Games after our coach. But these, and that's, everybody at Kaizen knows that, but nobody outside of that does.
Yeah. But then the bigger ones.
But the big ones, everybody knows. Murph is the most popular, and it's just a brutal workout that everybody does.
Yeah.
And when you do the hero workouts, you dig even deeper. Like, you have to think about, like, if you think the CrossFit workout feels bad, like, you really think about, like, man, really actually being in battle.
The actual sacrifice.
Right. And so it's like an emotional thing, too. That everybody in CrossFit really gets into. Everybody does Murph on the same day every year. Yeah. So that's like the Memorial Day workout is Murph.
Okay, that's I missed that one.
Memorial Day is gonna come again.
Everybody looked so wrecked because I went in the day after. Because I usually come Tuesdays because Monday's super busy for me, and like everyone was like, "My God, I'm dead. Yeah. I'm dead." And you were like, "Congrats, thank you for coming back." I want to unpack a few things that we've actually discussed.
Okay.
First of all, here's a good question. You've done a whole ton of different workout regimens, things, different types of exercises, different types of sports, things like that. Do you feel like CrossFit is the ultimate in fitness? Is the ultimate in health? Do you believe that?
I think it is.
It fits almost. It's like a one size fits all. Very good way for people to get healthy.
Yes.
Why? Tell me why you think it's the ultimate, especially from a background of so many other different things.
I will give you an example.
Okay.
I was a very competitive swimmer growing up, and I swam on my high school team as well as a club team. I remember really loving it, and also thinking it was really hard. Anyway, so it's been 10 years since I swam.
Yeah.
I've been doing CrossFit. I jumped in this past spring, I guess.
Yeah.
With my old high school team. I called my coach. I was like, "Hey, can I come to a practice and just see if I can hang with the kids? Let me at them."
Yeah.
And I totally could. my stamina was there, my endurance was there, the breathing was there, and some of it's probably muscle memory and it just doesn't go away. But also, like, all I've been doing is this.
Right, the fitness part of it held up.
Yeah. I mean, I could hang with, like, club swimmers at the high school team and with just CrossFit. Anyway, that's, like, a very specific example. The combination of, like, functional fitness, so we don't use, like, machines.
Yeah.
You don't go in there and, like, do your bicep curls and
right.
You're not shaping your body to look a certain way. You're shaping your body to perform a certain way. And the way you want it to perform is the way that's going to best serve you in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, we always make the thing, like, you know, if you're in the airplane, you have to put your, like, 50-pound carry-on in the overhead compartment. Like,
right.
Can you do it?
Right.
CrossFitters can. Like, some people can't. And it's just like that functionality of, like, you will have a better quality of life if
right.
you are working on things the way that we like to work on them. So we do, like, running and rowing and cardio conditioning. Mm-hmm. We do weightlifting and powerlifting and heavy stuff. So you're getting strong and fast with a good engine. There's a component of diet, which it's like foundational in CrossFit. So a lot of boxes don't touch on that. Mm-hmm. But that's huge. And, you know, CrossFit, I think it's, like, less so now, but there was a big, like, the paleo diet was, like, the CrossFit diet where you just, like, ate.
Is
like
it not so much anymore?
I mean, it kind of is. There's just so many diets out there now. Like,
yeah.
Since paleo was big, we've had other things that have been big.
Keto
like that. Keto is one
along,
of them. Like,
yeah. Which they're very similar, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, they're all kind of, and everybody's different with the diet. You have to find what works for you, and that means what you are capable of sustaining. I know that I have to eat carbs.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't even try keto. Like, it just wouldn't. Maybe nutritionally it would work for me, but mentally I have to eat carbs, and so I'm not going to even try that diet. I know I'll fail.
And you know what's cool about what you just said is the coolest part, because I feel like CrossFit does fit for everybody, because for those of you who don't know or have zero context to it, there are levels to the workouts that you do. So at no point is it like you go to a cycling class or something and it's just like everybody's going to do this amount, whether it takes you 20 minutes or 3 hours, right? Like that's like that gets discouraging. There's certain levels, and then if somebody has a bad knee or something, then you are able to give them a different option of the specific move that they're doing.
So what we say is that, like, the movements that, like, I need and you need and an 80-year-old woman needs and a 13-year-old boy needs vary by degree and not by type. So like, we should all be doing deadlifts.
Right.
It's just a matter of maybe my deadlift is heavier than the old lady and yours is heavier than mine, and
right.
that part changes, but the movements themselves are, everybody needs the same thing. It's just a matter of how much.
And you can substitute certain movements
right.
for others that will give a similar workout.
There's actually a super cool movement going on right now that they're doing in CrossFit that I really love with, like, adaptive trainings. Mm-hmm. I went to the very first one they did. I think it was the very first or second one that they ever did. I went to it in San Diego.
Yeah.
Alex Zirkenbach is the guy who's kind of running that show.
Zerks!
Zerks. And so they've been putting on these, like, CrossFit seminars to affiliates and coaches who want to learn and members who want to learn, or anybody really, what we can do for people. Like CrossFit is for people in wheelchairs. CrossFit is for amputees. Mm-hmm. CrossFit is for people who are blind or deaf or any other, like, adaptive. We can adapt this stuff to anybody.
Exactly. And that's the cool part, is that for me it's been realizing that not every workout is going to be the exact same for me. Like not every movement's going to be exactly the same, but I can push myself towards what I feel is comfortable. And I almost feel like you breed a self-awareness about your body.
Definitely.
And through the thing you were talking about with diet, you know what I mean? Like, some people are going to succeed at certain things, other people are going to succeed at other things. And I feel like CrossFit really is one of the only things that I've come into contact with fitness-wise. I'm not nearly as versed as you are, but it feels like it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's like it's like an adjustable belt that you can figure out what's going to fit on what person.
Yeah.
So, and functional fitness. Just to say that, like, I'd forgotten the term for it, but the fact that we're doing a lot of squats, we're doing a lot of lunges. We're doing movements that are necessary for everyday stuff. Bending, how many people can't bend down in their later years,
And it's stuff like if you're, in the office and you drop a pencil, are you going to leave it there forever or are you going to pick it up? If you pick it up, that's a deadlift.
Right.
That's the movement. So we train, so as you get older or whatever, right now we're sitting. Eventually we're going to have to stand up.
Right.
That's coming out of the bottom of a squat. Everything that we do is stuff movements that if you practice them now, will serve you later.
Exactly. And there's a lot of science behind, I feel like, CrossFit.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Tell me a little about where that all kind of developed from and how that came about, because I remember when I first was coming in, I was like, these exercises are so random. And then I talked to you and you're like, oh no, we handpick them and we're trying to give people the best so that they can rest on certain days, on certain things that they hit harder. Like there's a method to the madness.
There's definitely, I think you're referring to programming. It's like the way that we write a workout or a series of workouts for a week or a month or a year is with a purpose.
Yeah.
To get our athletes better at what we want them to get better at and keep them good at the things they're already good at, and all of that is done within like how we choose what the workout of the day is, which is always the movements are the same, but the workouts vary all the time. We have different stimulus that we're trying to achieve. So we have some workouts that are 3 minutes long, and that's supposed to be like you got hit by a truck, and we have some workouts that are 30 minutes long, which is supposed to be like maybe a truck dragged you down the street for an hour. You know what I mean? Like different methods of killing yourself in like a good way.
Right.
This is brutal. But yeah, so, and then in terms of health, CrossFit as an organization is actually going off. So everybody, I think most people know the CrossFit Games now, and they've seen these like fitness superheroes that represent the sport at the highest level. They just recently restructured everything that they do higher up at CrossFit to focus on the health aspect. The founder, Greg Glassman, is... Good Glassy. He's health focused. Like that's his whole deal. Is he wants people to be healthier, and he wants everybody to be. He's fighting obesity, and he's fighting diabetes, and all of these diseases that are affecting so much of the population,
and a lot of which are preventable.
Exactly. So, yeah, CrossFit Health is an organization that's like kind of gaining a lot of momentum at the moment.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's actually really cool, and bringing it to like all corners of the world, like not just, it's very popular in America and Europe and Australia, but bringing it now like global.
Why do you personally think that it's catching on?
Because it works.
Yeah.
Because it works. It is the magic pill. The magic pill is that there is no magic pill. You have to work hard and you have to eat right, and if you do those things, that's the magic pill. And the cool thing about CrossFit is those things aren't inherently fun.
Right.
But CrossFit makes it fun. CrossFit makes it fun to do what's hard. CrossFit rewires people's brains to associate doing the hard thing with having fun. And that's why it sticks, and that's why people continue to do that thing that hurts.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people who really buy into CrossFit find themselves succeeding in other areas of their life that aren't related to health and fitness, but those same mental, like...
the hurdles that they have to jump over become easier.
It carries over into everything that you do.
That is pretty cool. That goes a lot of hand in hand with, the shit that I'll teach in a corporate training. Things like, doing the work of communication. It's very simple.
Yeah.
The art of communication isn't very hard at all. It's just doing the things that are not instinctual and making them instinctual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, actually.
And that's why I really connect with, I think that's why I really connect with CrossFit. I also have ADHD, so like,
you should tell everybody how you came into this.
How I came in?
Yeah, how you came into CrossFit.
All right.
Now it's like a thing that you do, right?
Yeah, I came into CrossFit. I was friends with Madeline's husband, James. He is a sound engineer in town and somebody that I've worked with, somebody that I love and that I will continue to be working with over the next years and years and years. And he kept telling me about CrossFit and his wife and blah, 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 and all this awesome stuff.
He, by the way, fought me harder than anybody on starting CrossFit.
Yeah.
He did not want it at all.
He told me about that. He told me he was scared when you joined CrossFit. Because everybody has,
a stigma. It
has
a stigma. It definitely does. And in some ways, rightly so. Like,
why?
If you let your ego get in the way of your progress, CrossFit will have the opposite effect on your health. Or like you get these people who are so wrapped up in the competition with others and not with themselves.
Wow, yeah.
And it leads to messy reps and messy movements.
Yeah.
And unsafe practice, and they end up with problems, and that's part of it too. Like, I mean, I deal with injury a lot. You get to a certain level, and it's almost unavoidable. Like, I learned a new skill, and it uncovers a weakness in my body, and that presents itself as injury, and so you have to fix it. And most of these things are totally amenable. They're within my control. If I pull something, it's like, okay, like I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to do these supplementary exercises to strengthen that thing that was weak, and then I'll be good again. Some people get hurt and then they throw in the towel. That's it.
Right.
CrossFit's not for me. Like, when really that weakness would have presented itself later in your life anyway.
Right.
All you did was unearth it now when you're 30 and can fix it, instead of when you're 75 and it's going to kill you.
Right. That's a phenomenal way of putting it. It's stigmatized a lot, I think, because, and I think that they're maybe early on, because you said that the science has kind of come in, and this is me speculating, so tell me I'm full of shit, but you said that the science has come in pretty recently, and that's kind of boosted a lot of it.
The science is just growing a lot. I mean, the science was there from the get-go, but CrossFit's only been around for like 12 years.
Early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when it first came out, it was just like a bunch of bros, like hitting tires with hammers.
In terms of like a sport or a way of, you know, it's new.
Yeah.
Like it's totally new. So compared to like, you know, baseball or yoga or any of these other practices that people have been doing forever.
There's a lot of speculation around it.
I mean, like the components of CrossFit are, you know, age old. Weightlifting has been around for a long time. Strongman stuff has been around for a long time. Running, Jesus, that's been around since time.
I've only just heard of this. It's running, you say? Am I saying that correctly?
Oh my god. Brent, that was awesome.
Oh, thank you. It is weird how, because when I met you, hey, and here's the thing.
Okay,
I'll go back to it, because we met at a party. It was for the debut of my roommate's film that James helped do the sound on, and we met at this awesome party, and I had heard so much about you, and you had heard so much about me, apparently, and we shook hands, and you were like, oh yeah, I do CrossFit stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, James told me about that, blah, blah, blah. I've been wanting to get healthier, I've been wanting to do something, because I wasn't doing shit at the time, and you were like, come down, like, do some CrossFit. And I was like, I am going to credit you and you and your awesomeness. Because if you're listening, if you're watching, like, you are as far away from the stigma poster boy child of what CrossFit looks like to most people.
All right, thank
you.
Yeah,
I looked at you, I was like, she's not going to be, like, screaming in my face about anything. Like, that's what I thought of, like, some dude with a gigantic beard, like, and sunglasses. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a modern day lumberjack, just totally. And when I talked to you, I was like, there must be something more to the CrossFit that I'm not getting if she is teaching. And that was what was going through my mind. And you were like, I'm teaching tomorrow. And I was like, okay, let me fucking do it. When are you teaching? You're like, 5:30 a.m. And I was like, oh my God.
I know, and then you came. I came.
I couldn't believe it either, because I stayed out till like midnight that night. I was like, Jesus.
But that was so smart of you to just do it, because I think for a lot of people that's the hardest part, is that very first class, or like that very first week, or that first month. And if you can get through that period, that's the hardest part.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people give themselves too much time to There's a dog in the gym.
There's a dog just came by.
Unknown dog.
I was like, what? Anything could happen in this gym. That dog was swole.
That dog was just like ready for a show.
Bursting with muscle.
Poodle.
Yeah, black poodle.
All kinds of accoutrements.
Not that I see color. But yeah, and so I came the next morning because I'm always of the opinion that if I don't do something right away, I'm going to forget about it, and then it's going to be something that I regret later. And
that's another thing, too. I recommend, I think, for most people, if you're starting, if working out is something new that you are just starting,
yes,
do it first thing in the morning every day.
Really?
That's what because the longer you wait in your day,
mm-hmm.
that you give yourself hours to talk yourself out of it. Excuses. I'm tired. Work was hard. I should do this extra project. I haven't eaten. I just ate.
Yeah.
If you give yourself that time, you will make those excuses. I do it too.
Yeah.
I do it too. I have to talk myself into working out sometimes. And if it's happening to me, it's happening to everybody.
Yeah.
I love working out, and I still have to convince myself to do it.
That's something for sure that I was gonna touch on. We had a phenomenal talk, and I was just like, it's not easy for me. Like, this shit is really fucking hard. And you were like, yeah, it sucks for everybody.
It does.
And you were like, I'm not excluded from that.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I'd love for you to talk to the people who are listening to this, are obviously listening because they might be interested in an alternate style of fitness that they might not have tried before. Maybe they are looking to get into fitness. I would love you to tell everybody how you stay consistent. Because that's
my plan for success.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think consistency and success are almost they're inseparable.
It's true, and there's a difference between motivation and commitment.
Yes.
And you have to have commitment to succeed at something.
Right.
Because motivation is fleeting. That will come and go. One day you'll be motivated, one day you'll won't. Or one day you'll be motivated to do something else. Like, one day you'll be motivated to come to the gym, and the next day you'll be motivated to eat the chocolate cake. Like, the motivation isn't what keeps you there. Maybe that's the spark, but the commitment is what gets you the consistency. And so you have to commit, and it's a mental thing. So, okay, my plan for success, I'll just lay out the actions that I would have somebody do, and then I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think number one, you just have to commit to doing it first thing in the morning. If you are like where you were, or where a lot of people are, where it's like I want to work out, but I've never done anything. Whatever, you commit to starting something new.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Do it quickly.
Don't think. Just sign up and go first thing in the morning every day for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And because if you set that alarm, the hardest part is getting up.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you've already decided I'm going, that's it. You don't have time to talk yourself out of it. You just wake up, you throw your clothes on, and you drive down. You don't have time to talk yourself out of it like you would if you waited until 4 p.m.
Nothing's gonna get scheduled. Yeah.
And then you also have the benefit of first of all, I think waking up early is really good for people. And so if it forces you to get up a little earlier and then sleep a little earlier, I think that's a good pattern of sleep, and that's a whole other conversation. But for our purposes, let's just say it's good to wake up early.
Cool.
And then you also have the benefit of feeling that sense of accomplishment that we talked about afterwards. Yes, during it, maybe it sucks and you're nervous and you don't want to be the new kid and you don't want to meet new people and you don't want to learn a new thing. But afterwards, when you have that sense of accomplishment and you said you were going to do it and you did, and it was hard, but you pushed through, and now you have endorphins and your body feels good and you're breathing better and everything else, you get to take that feeling all day. And so you feel it at work. It drives you to commit. And then you're like, well, I worked out, so I'm going to make sure that I'm eating good food tonight. I'm going to stop at, the store and make a salad at the salad bar and get chicken or whatever. And then you wake up the next day and you do it again and you do it again, and it just creates, it's habit forming. And it's addicting. It's addicting. This is I think that the people who do it feel as though it's like an addictive reward response,
right.
Kind of.
I'm getting a hit of fitness.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
James and I were just talking the other day, people who are in class here, for a lot of people, especially because it's such a familial atmosphere here and everybody's friends and everybody's close, it's like this is happy hour for a lot of people. Like they come here and this is their hour. They're going to kick it with their friends, and instead of like have a drink at the bar, they're going to get their hit of fitness.
Right.
And feel good and like have that with their friends and then go about their day. Like, so I would do it first thing in the morning. I would do it every day. And what was the other thing? There's another thing, but for success, like in order to succeed, you have to think about like your long-term goal or that long-term, your big picture vision of happiness. Mm-hmm. You have to, it has to be stronger than your immediate,
your short-term wants.
Right now, I want chocolate.
Right.
But for my life, I want to be fit and in shape and healthy and whatever.
Right.
And so like it's not easy for anybody ever. Even just now before class, I was asking everybody, I'm like, hey, does anybody have any candy around here? Like, does anybody have like a hidden stash that I don't know about that I could dip into?
I'll even take a caramel. I'll take a butterscotch if I need to.
And one gummy worm from the floor in the corner. Like what? I'll eat it.
Right. Commitment is long term. Motivation is short.
Yeah.
That's the.
You have to be in touch with your long-term goals to succeed at something.
Companies pay millions of dollars to have somebody motivational come in and give a motivational speech, when really the chocolate cake after the speech is probably more motivating than the speaker they just hired to come talk.
True.
Could have just got a Smith's, got a chocolate cake. That's super interesting to me. Something that's developed as we've been talking, I've been seeing that they're very. Something that always fascinates me is when people can do something, but also when people can teach something. And what I've noticed with you is you are an extremely good teacher.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Where does that come from?
I don't know.
Is that a natural skill?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No?
I think teaching's really hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all. I don't know. I'm glad that you think I'm a good teacher because I find it to be challenging. I think most
What
teachers
is the challenges
do.
for you?
People learn things in different ways, and things that come naturally to some people don't to others. And to really teach somebody, I think you have to understand them on a deep level. Like you have to be able to know what motivates that person.
Right.
Like how does that person learn? Like what kind of a cue? Like some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners. You could say one thing to me and it might mean something different than the same thing to you. Mm-hmm. So when I have a class of 10 people, I could say one thing, and to some people, everybody interprets it differently. Teaching is just a challenge.
Right. I think that it is. I think everything that you just said is something that a lot of people who teach don't understand, which is that a lot of people come in with their own self-awareness and what has been successful for them in the way that they've learned something, and then they blanket it for everybody and go wide. I think that when you start seeing people and start understanding that everybody learns in a different way, then you're going deeper, and you're not going wide, you're going real deep in terms of empathy, and you can't only just have self-awareness for yourself, you're then tapping into the awareness of somebody else's self-awareness and kind of judging against that. You do it very naturally. I wasn't sure if did you grow up teaching or coaching or?
I don't know. I don't know.
When did you start doing the yoga teaching stuff? Was that the first teaching job?
I didn't really teach until I got here.
Really? So you were just doing yoga?
I taught yoga, but I didn't have anything like that I was doing consistently as a job teaching until I got here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is nuts. How?
I don't know. I don't remember ever teaching anybody anything before that. I've had good teachers growing up, I think. But I don't know. And I definitely wouldn't have ever wanted, growing up, and I I never wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
It's, I do find it to be very rewarding, and I obviously love my job, but it wasn't, I'm flattered and humbled to hear you say that you think I'm a good one, because it's hard and I don't always know if I'm doing enough.
You're like an enigma to me. You just have an insane ability to listen and empathize with people. And is that just something that you've always sort of done? Like, were you more of a quiet person growing up? Where you were like...
I think that I'm like a little bit of a peacekeeper. Like, I want to make everybody happy. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, you know, if the boat's rocking, I want to do what I can to even it out. Like, damage control, put out the fires. Like, but other than that, I don't know. These are very interesting questions that I haven't really thought of about myself before.
And it's so funny because, like, I could totally, before you telling me that, I could totally, just in the way that you do things and the way that you are, I could totally have seen you being like a kid who was like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher, or when I grow up, I want to, or like being like a tutor or something, or like.
When I was little, I didn't want anything to do with anybody.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were you an only child?
No, I have 2 sisters.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the middle child.
Oh man, yeah.
So maybe a little bitter. I don't know. But I was definitely like I was like almost anti people. Like I wanted to be a coroner.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's changed?
I don't know.
You found something you liked and that you have a passion about.
I love it, and honestly, like, I just love our members. Like, I love all of you guys so much. Like, I find helping people through this to be so rewarding. Like, and to see everybody accomplish things they didn't think they could accomplish, and like level up and all of that cool stuff. And like, they start and they're maybe kind of timid and they don't have that self-assurance, and then slowly, like, they start to get it and things start to click, and then they bring their friends because they're so excited, or they compete, and just like their journey of like self-realization or self-confidence or
seeing the growth is huge.
It's just like that part of it. I mean, I hope I'm a good teacher and I hope that I'm good along the way, but what keeps me coming is like, and I always joke, like, I can't, if I'm here, if I'm not coaching, but I'm here, and I stay until a class starts, I can't leave. Like, I'll just stay through that class. Like, I can't pull myself away. I'm so excited to see everybody. I'm so, like, I feel like all the members, we have so much to talk about and so much to catch up on, and like, just in general about who they are and what they did in the workouts and what are their kids doing and how was that birthday party, and you guys are what makes this the most fun part for me. And
that's a huge part of what I think makes Kaizen very special, and what I felt the second that I stepped in was that it is very much so family. It's a community that you've kind of garnered, and people that enter are introduced into the community that
I would say for the most part, if you walk in the door, you're in the family.
Right. And it's not, you know, I could go to the gym every single day for the rest of my life and not know anybody else that's working out there, because how often are you like, hi, I'm Brent, you know? We're riding cycles next to each other.
Isn't that crazy that we don't do that, though?
That's nuts to me.
I feel like that's the first step in being a good teacher or a good person, is like, just, if you, like, or this is just in life, like, we don't have to talk about fitness anymore, like, just be the first person to say hi.
Right. I agree.
Just go up and say fucking hi and introduce yourself and ask them about themselves. Like, you will make a friend that day.
Be a good party host.
You will make a friend.
Yeah. I agree, because not everybody does it anymore. Well, and not everybody feels comfortable. In a gym, I don't know that people would feel comfortable, you know, because the context isn't set. Here, it just feels natural.
Yeah, well, I've never been one for, like, the regular gym either. Like I said, I like classes. I mean, like, even the stuff like swim team or yoga or any of those other things, like, it's still a team. Like, my performance is my own.
Right.
But I like that camaraderie is so important. Like, having that support system in the things in your life that are difficult makes it sustainable.
There's a culture here.
Definitely.
There's a culture of family and friendliness that is very different. Kaizen CrossFit, if you don't know it, now you know. Come on down. Okay, so here is... for people that are fit, for people that are like, I'm already going to the gym, I'm already doing this stuff, what do you have to say to them? Why should they come do CrossFit?
They should come do it, and if they can beat me in a workout, they don't have to stay.
Right. So if you do not live in Vegas, go down to your local CrossFit gym.
This is an open challenge.
Right. Challenge the biggest person there. Challenge the coach there, and if you beat them, then you now own that CrossFit gym. But if you don't,
that's the official rules.
Right? You have to. That's the CrossFit. That's CrossFit rules. It's written on the scroll.
They'll surrender the contract to you. No, but seriously, and that's one of the things about CrossFit that I think is so fun is that it gives me, and that's one of the things, like, so when I was like younger and I had that anxiety about being on a team, it was because I didn't think I was ever good enough. Like, I didn't think like that I was enough to be on the team, or I didn't think that I, like, little old me was going to be the one to, like, you know, get the winning serve.
I'm sure if you're going to be Rudy, like, or
I knew for a fact I wasn't going to be Rudy. I know I wanted to be more than anything. Yeah. But that self-talk was, you're not, you can't, you won't.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
That's so nuts to me.
But CrossFit gives me this, like, empowered feeling where I'm like, come at me.
Yeah.
I'll go to the track. I'll go to the weight room. I'll play any sport. Pick a sport. Like I'm down. I feel ready because CrossFit has trained so many different things. Like, and it's also like, okay, so what? Like, if I can't do it, I can't do it. Like, I'll work on it. That's the CrossFit mindset. Is if I find something I'm not good at, I'll get good at it. Just give me a minute.
There's so many, there's so many parallels. It's weird. It's so many parallels between you and CrossFit and me and improv. Like,
I think that this all we're talking about really are the secrets to life, like the secrets to success. Mm-hmm. Some people find them in fitness. I personally think that your health is your wealth, and so from where I come from, like in my mindset, maybe you don't have to be crazy like I am. You don't have to work out religiously, or you have to live and breathe it.
Yeah.
But it is something worth working on, in terms of your own, like the we were talking about, like same things with improv and whatever, like these little secrets that make you better at everything.
Right.
And also your health is like, really, you should take it seriously.
They apply and carry over to other things. With that being said, in improv, there is a core principle, right? There's a core principle of improv that everybody preaches, and it's called yes and. And the idea is that I am, whatever anybody says, I'm going to listen to and accept, which is yes. And I am going to not only accept it and say yes to it, I'm going to add on to the idea, which means that I have to be really listening to what the person's saying. So
I like that.
It's two parts, right? It's yes, which means I'm listening, and then and. So I'm adding something relevant to what was just said and actually relevant. And then when I throw that back, then the other person's going to take that and then add on top of that and me as well. So then we can literally go an infinite amount of times, as long as we're building. Right, as long as we're both plugged in. For fitness, for CrossFit, for you, for whatever, is there a core principle? And that goes into life, right? Yes, and goes into life. Is there a core principle you think that goes into and spreads further than just the idea of fitness that could be applied? If you were giving your TED Talk, your whatever, right? Any improviser who does any type of keynote speech gives the yes and talk.
That's a good question. I guess I don't know exactly, and I'm sure that after this is wrapped, I'm going to think of like 5 and be like, Brent! Yeah. But the one that comes instantly to mind... What
comes to mind? Yeah, that's all I want.
Is like we finish what we start.
Yes.
Like,
it's written on the wall somewhere.
It doesn't matter how much it sucks. Like, nobody gets to just quit a workout, barring anything like... some tragedy, like
right.
If you like, everybody finishes the workout. Like, you finish what you start.
It says on the wall somewhere, if you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, then you crawl, or something like that.
And I think one of the things about that's like so parallel between something like improv and something like CrossFit, and why they're so helpful to people. And why people feel so passionately about them, like you do about improv, and like I do about CrossFit and whatever else, is that they force you to be scared.
Right. You have to leap into the unknown.
Is scary. It's putting yourself out there.
Right, without knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah. But damn it, you're there and you're going to do it. Like, yes and.
Right, you're going to finish it.
And it's just like that, like you get... correct me if I'm wrong. I would imagine you get like nervous before a workout. Like, you get like that butterfly feeling. Like, oh my god, this is gonna hurt. I don't want to. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I'm doing it anyway. Like, here I am. Here I go. Like, it's the same thing. Like you have to make yourself uncomfortable in order to progress.
And you know what's really funny is I've been playing with this idea for the last few days that action is better than thinking about action, but strategic action is better than action.
Okay.
And I feel like, right? I feel like people who are like, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna work out because I'm just gonna go and work out. That's just action. I'm going to go do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna mess around, do whatever, right? The next step beyond that, I think, is strategic action. And I think that CrossFit and what I like so much about it is that I'm trusting in the science. I'm trusting in the coaches. I'm trusting in everything that's happening so that I know that this is strategically planned by people that are smarter than me about fitness.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a great point. I was just thinking about that the other day, like how I'm the type of person, like if there's something new that I want to do, like I will find a way to learn from an expert how to do that thing. I'm not the type of person who's just going to wing it. It's like, okay, like I want to learn. Like, I'm a swimmer.
Right.
I would never just go do an open water swim.
Right.
I've never done it.
Right.
I wouldn't do it without somebody there to guide me, like putting it in with a plan, like who's going to tell me like what to do in this situation and like where to look and like how to spot and
yes.
And so that's a good point. Like, just going to the gym and just doing something is definitely better than not.
And you know what the funniest part is that people confuse the two all the time. People confuse strategic action with thinking about action.
Yes.
Because one, you're implementing everything that you're learning as you're doing it and you're figuring it out, right? And then the other is like, I'm just going to learn about this and like...
Yeah, or just think about, like, I really want to do this thing.
Right. Like...
I really want to... Like, you just say that. That doesn't do anything for you.
No amount of reading a book on diets is going to help you lose weight. Just reading it, that's not going to... Reading it alone, you're not going to lose weight reading it.
Very true.
It can help you, but that's what I like most about all of this. I mean, there's like, all of this equipment, there's all this stuff. There's thought put into the workouts that are going to happen. And once I realized that, I was like, holy crap, like I'm super sold now because like people smarter than me are putting it. At first I was just like, they're just writing some stuff down.
They're just making this up as they go.
Right, but as I went along, I was like, oh no, there's like a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking to this, which is interesting. Cool. What I would like to do now is on every podcast I do an improvised commercial.
Okay.
So I improvise a commercial. It feels fitting that because we're in Kaizen CrossFit, I'm going to improvise a commercial.
Great.
Would you like to join me in the commercial, or would you like to feed me information?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll try to jump in.
Would you like to? You'd actually like to improvise the commercial with me?
I'll try.
All right.
If you got to take the reins, but then I'm going to try to participate.
Okay. This sounds super awesome. I'm so glad that you're game. Okay. Cool. So this is our commercial for Kaizen CrossFit. This one's on me, Kaizen. Okay, so oh boy, I just finished working out and it just feels like I'm not getting the workout that I want. You know how I feel, my friend Madeline?
Brent, I feel the same way. I go to the gym, but I don't see any results.
Really? Oh, boy. Hey, didn't you just start doing that new workout thing down the street?
I've heard about CrossFit, but I've never been. I've been scared.
You've never been? Oh, my gosh. Well, I was reading a sign the other day, and they told me that Kaizen CrossFit is the best CrossFit place in town because it's about taking your fear and owning that fear and finishing with people around you. That's a family.
I just drove by that gym the other day, Brent, and I saw on their sign that they do a free intro class. Do you think we should do it?
I think we should do it right now. Oh my gosh, look, we're here.
This gym isn't scary at all. What were we worried about?
Oh look, there's a friendly man waving at us. Hello, it's me.
Oh no, he's homeless. Keep moving.
Oh boy.
There's
that was
coach.
A close one.
There's the coach. Hi, Coach Mike.
Hey, Coach Mike, how's it going? It's going good. You always want to get some fitness? Get a hit of fitness here at Kaizen. Wow, Coach Mike, I feel better already.
I'm going to do this every day.
Me too. Kaizen, it means family in Japanese. I don't know if that's true.
It means continuous improvement in Japanese. But that's a great point. We didn't get into it, but anyway. That was a great commercial.
That's a good commercial.
Yeah, I think that you should
I'll snip that out. I'm going to do it.
We're gonna sell it.
Yes.
We'll pay you for that. That was great advertising.
That's perfect. I don't
we'll
think...
get James to edit it.
We can't
down.
even touch it. We can't
Perfect
even
radio
touch that.
spot.
It's the perfect radio spot. Let's just get that. I did a spot on Coach Mikey, didn't I?
Oh. Uncanny.
Hey, it's me! That's so awesome. In wrapping up here, I just want any last tips, any last things that you want to say my audience is completely random. It could be older people, it could be younger people, it could be people that are doing fitness, it could be people that have no idea how to get started. Life tips, fitness tips, anything at all. I would love you to just share your wisdom from your point of view as someone who's teaching this. I mean, shit, you're doing this like 6-7 days a week, aren't you?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
You're doing multiple classes like 7 days a week. It is insane, and that's probably why you're such a good teacher, because you work so much and you're doing it so much that by the time that I saw you, I was like, oh yeah, she's really good. But it's like, no, I'm in the shit, so I know what I'm doing, you know? Like,
I guess, yeah.
Any tips, anything, any insights? I would just
say we have this, we have it written on a sign in the gym, and I think it's like a good, just what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you weren't afraid? If you weren't afraid of CrossFit, would you do it? If the answer is yes, then do it. Or if the answer is improv or whatever it is, like it doesn't have to be fitness. Find the thing that lights you up and then do that thing as hard as you can. But then also find something to do for fitness, because your health is very important.
What's cool is you keep on bridging together the relationship between fitness and life.
Yeah.
Like, what is that relationship for you?
I mean, I have a pretty biased opinion, because for me, fitness is the thing.
I want that biased opinion, yeah.
I mean, I think that I think like across the board for everybody, fitness is a really important thing, and your body is, you only get one. That's your house. That's the house of your soul. Like if you clean your house, you should also take care of your body. Like, that's your vehicle. That's what you have to work with. So you should honor it. And that's why I think that everybody should do CrossFit specifically. But in broader terms, like for me, fitness is this thing that lights me up.
Yeah.
And that I want to share with everybody. And I don't care what that thing is for you, but I think that you should find it and then do it as hard as you can. For me, it's fitness. Like for me, it's tied to life, because for me, fitness is that thing that just, I can't get enough. Like I'll work here 15 hours and then go home and watch videos about fucking CrossFit. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are so scared to charge full speed at what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be fitness. Whatever it is, charge full speed at it, and your life will be full. I don't want to mandate that everybody do CrossFit 5 days a week and live it, breathe it, like
right.
I think that health and fitness should be taken seriously, but more so than that, like your quality of life is going to depend on how passionate are you about every single day.
Big picture,
yeah.
Goes back. What would you do if you weren't afraid?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This
Madeline Boldt, everybody. Kaizen CrossFit. If you're ever in Vegas, you want to try out CrossFit, come on down here. And if you are in Vegas and you want to get fit, look up Kaizen CrossFit. I'm going to put all of the stuff. Where can people find you? Do you do the social media thing?
So you can find me. I'm on Instagram at mdo.g. Kaizen is everywhere as KaizenCrossFit.com, Kaizen CrossFit on Facebook, or at KaizenRx on Instagram.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Madeline. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you are afraid of doing some shit, go do it. Don't be afraid.
Just do it.
Yeah. Or be afraid, but do it anyway.
Ooh, that's even better. That's even better.
What would you do if
your fears stop you?
What would you do if you weren't afraid? But more importantly, what are you going to do even though you're afraid?
So good, Brent.
Damn. Oh, damn. Give this guy a fucking true TV show. All right, everybody. Yes. Thanks so much. I will see you all next time. Mwah, love you.